Every once in a while, you'll see a film that is kinda good and yet pretty bad at the same time. Tomorrow War is exactly like that. Originally scheduled to be released in theaters, it was delayed due to COVID pandemic. So eventually Jeff Bezos bought the distribution rights and the film ended up streaming on Amazon Prime. Starring Chris Pratt as a lead actor, Tomorrow War is a big budget sci fi action adventure, with interesting stories, some good performances, and impressive action. While premise is quite inventive, it relies on obscure time travel concept and fails to back up itself with solid logic, leading to many unanswered questions and plot holes. In next couple minutes I will try to summarize all the good and bad aspects of the film and give my opinion on it, so naturally there will be some spoilers ahead. Plot is set in 2022, where the world is visited by future humans from the year 2051, who gladly inform us that 30 years from now, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species. So the world governments decide to recruit soldiers and civilians and send them to future to join the fight. Story centers around Dan Forrester, former army ranger with a wife and daughter who gets drafted into the war. Turns out he and many others, most of whom don't have as much military experience as he does, have to spend 7 days in future, after which if they are still alive, they will be automatically transported back to the past.
You back to the future!
So after some tough rooftop landing in Miami Beach, Dan and his team have to rescue a group of scientists and recover their research before the city gets blown up. This is where we see aliens for the first time. I loved how film intentionally kept their appearance in secret so they will seem more terrifying to us. It gave some much needed tension to the first battle scene, which worked pretty well for me. So these alien invaders, referred as white spikes, turned out to be perfect predators. Fast, strong, well-organized creatures that are very hard to kill. And this is when I started to have some questions. You see, you can't actually call them intelligent creatures. I mean, they are pretty smart during the fight, but I doubt these assholes can craft a spaceship and fly to another planet. Yet nobody seems to notice it until the film itself reveals the truth. And how is it possible that some creepy monsters without any technology and science manage to take over the planet from civilization that has nuclear weapons and can travel back in time? I don't care how strong or scary they are, I just don't buy it. Anyway, Dan and a couple of his teammates barely survived the explosion, but they managed to save the science research. They wake up in Dominican Republic where Dan meets Colonel Forrester, who turns out to be his grown daughter Murray. That's a nice move, I wasn't expecting that, and this father and daughter drama is very much emotionally compelling. So, Murray works on this toxin that she wants to use on white spikes, but somehow it can't kill females, so they catch one to experiment on it. And I just don't get what's the point of toxin if you can just blow them up. I mean, it's not a gas or any other weapon of mass destruction anyway. You gotta shove it up their asses individually, so the whole premise seems pointless to me. Eventually, they manage to capture a female white spike and Murray finally creates a toxin that works. But unfortunately, enemy attacks the base. Everyone dies except Dan, whose 7-day watch expires and he returns to past taking a sample of Murray's research with him. Yeah, and a couple of his friends survive too. The world loses connection with the future, which obviously means that humans lost the war. Everyone is scared and there is civil unrest all over the place. I guess it's a part of human nature to protest and loot stores when things go wrong. After a heartwarming scene where Dan returns to his family, he sits down with his wife and they come up with the world's most obvious solution for future apocalypse. Preparing for it. After some brainstorming, Dan and his friends realize that the spaceship is already on Earth. They ask the government guy to help them arrange an expedition to Russia, but the guy says no, cause there's civil unrest, relationship with Russia is not good, and they don't have time for that shit. Apparently, for the government, losing power and authority is scarier than the end of humanity. Pretty realistic for a sci-fi movie. Anyway, Dan and his team find a way to get to Russia with the help of Dan's estranged dad, played by J.K. Simmons. By the way, the guy is absolute badass. I mean, look at this dude. He looks like a secret love child of Hulk and Santa. So, our heroes get to Russia and find the spaceship with the help of compass. Don't ask me how that works. Turns out white spikes are genetic experiment of another alien race and they were brought here by possible accident. So after some action in snowy Russia, Dan, with the help of his friends and family, finally managed to destroy all the white spikes and save the humanity. When you're watching The Tomorrow War, the first film that comes to mind is The Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, a far superior movie that had somewhat similar concept. So if you compare those two, The Tomorrow War is absolutely awful. It has many flaws including bad logic and some forced irrelevant humor. It completely fails to be a good time travel movie.
I don't respect time travel. If Ant-Man and the Wasp can do it, I'm not interested.
But it's not that bad if you take it as a pure entertainment. In fact, if you lower your expectation, you can actually enjoy it. The action is tense and well paced. Characters are interesting and relatable. I love that each and everyone has a distinct role in development of story. Like the student in the beginning of the movie who loves volcanoes, or Dan's father that has outlaw connections. They are both introduced as side characters, but eventually they each serve a purpose. It's a little thing, but feels good to notice. I love that the movie makes the fatherhood one of its main themes. Dan hated his father because he abandoned him, and ironically enough he would have abandoned his daughter if he didn't get drafted. It is kind of symbolic that people of past fight for the people of future, but eventually future humanity sacrifices itself so that the past can have a chance. And that's it, I guess. I personally enjoyed this film, but I can't ignore its multiple flaws. So I give The Tomorrow War 6 out of 10. Let me know what you think about the film. Hit the like button and subscribe for more reviews. See you next time. Peace.